Hello? I'm going to make sure you can hear me before I start talking. Oh shit, I'll be right back. I forgot something. All right. Yes, you can hear me. Good. Hi, Woodman, spare that tree. Hi, Sue's what? Hi, Colleen. Route Irish, I have to talk to you about something in a second. Hi, Kim Calta. I believe Carolina Hurtado is here, and Blood Beth, and just me. And I may have caught them all. So, as a lot of you know, I publicly proposed marriage to juror number 3, and I have not heard back from him yet, which is shocking, I know. And Route Irish told me that if I don't hear back from him, he will marry me. He then promptly, I've noticed, has started coming out of the closet. Coincidence? I don't think so. He's not really coming out of the closet. Hi, Kristen. So today, we're going to finish up. You know, we had started watching the Paul Hicks trial. He was finally on trial after killing his ex-wife 25 years ago. And we started watching that because I am not proud of this, but I was basically commenting on some of the witnesses on the stand. And in that process, I realized that not a lot of people were covering it. And I have comments from, and some people in that live talking about who obviously were not close to the case, but closer than, you know, if you cover a trial that's being covered by a lot of people. And I had a comment the other day saying that this woman said that she was, I think, part of the extended family of Regina Rowe, who is the victim here, and that she was hoping that they continue the live coverage because it's not getting any coverage. It's true. Brian Walsh had to bore the crap out of us for over a week. So after that, I thought they would start covering it, and it looked as though Court TV was going to, but then they took down they canceled the video. Like, there was no coverage the next day. And now that bothered me. Well, first of all, because I was curious about it. I wanted to watch it, and everyone seemed to be into it. And congrats, Bloodbath. And oh, you can't get out of that song out of your head since the Diddy documentary. Got it. Well, that makes sense. Sure. And yeah, so I was upset about that. And I also felt badly because this family has been waiting for a long time. And everyone knew that this is a man who's been committing crimes since this was probably not his first and definitely not his last crime. He has terrorized 2 of his other ex-girlfriends. And thank God he has finally taken off the streets. So I thought we would watch the sentencing, because that's all they aired, really. And it's satisfying. He's found guilty on all counts, which is nice. And, you know, justice delayed, but not justice denied, which is excellent, and I'm very happy for her family. And you can see her 2 brothers there when they announced the sentencing, the verdict, rather. And And then I have a few things that I wanted to go over about narcissism and flying monkeys and what kind of narcissists they are potentially, and that whole dynamic, because it's pretty interesting. And hi, Dandy. And that's it. So let's take a look at this. Verdict. I've been saying sentencing. I meant verdict.
Four counts?
Yes.
And have they each signed each of those verdicts, all 12 members?
Yes.
And have you filled in guilty or not guilty in each of the verdict forms?
I believe so, yes.
All right, I'm going to ask if you will turn those over.
Don't worry.
To the bailiff.
It's not real.
Give me a moment to review them.
It's too loud.
All right, very good. This time then, the court would read the verdict forms for purposes of the record. In the state of Ohio versus Paul Daniel Hicks, 2025-0284, on the indictment for count 1, being murder, the jury finds the defendant guilty of murder of an unclassified felony. It's dated December 19, 2025, and does appear to be signed by all the members of the jury. Would you like the jury polled on this?
Your Honor, I will wait for the rest of the members to read.
All right, very good. As far as count 2 then, the jury finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of murder of an unclassified felony, which was the proximate result of the defendant committing kidnapping, which is a felony of the first degree. Again, that's dated December 19, 2025, and appears to be signed by all 12 members of the jury. As far as count 3, on the charge of murder, the jury finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of murder, an unclassified felony, which was the proximate result of the defendant committing felonious assault, which is a felony of the second degree. That's dated December 19, 2025, and is signed by all 12 members of the jury. And finally, on count 4, kidnapping, the jury finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of kidnapping in the first degree. That's also dated December 19, 2025, and signed by all 12 members of the jury. At this time, then, will the jury poll?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, at this point, I don't know if I have my jury sheet.
Thank you, Jesus.
All right, we'll go by front row first and then work to the back. So I'm going to ask first, and I gave my sheet away with your names, and I have not memorized it. Juror number 1, is that your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
And juror number 2?
Yes.
And juror number 3?
Yes.
And juror number 4?
Yes.
Juror number 5?
Yes.
Juror number 6?
Hey, bitches.
Juror number 7? In the back, juror number 8? Juror number 9?
Yes.
Juror number 10?
Yeah, that's the
Juror
other
number 11?
Yes.
grave
Juror
concern
number
here. Is that
Yes.
What's
going on in that
The
town?
jury
Hair
has
wax.
confirmed that those are their findings and verdicts
Hi,
as
this is
presented to the court. I do want to thank you
Hi,
all
Dead of Night.
for a prolonged 2 weeks of service. Certainly you gave this matter a lot of consideration. And I'm going to ask if any of you have the ability to stick around for a short period of time. Traditionally, it's an opportunity for the court to have an opportunity to speak with you. We'd like to find out what your experiences are like here, what we might be able to do better or different as we go forward with future juries. Sometimes the attorneys would also like the opportunity to speak with you. You don't have to stick around. You've given us an awful lot of verdict forms for purposes of the record. In the state of Ohio versus Paul Daniel Hicks, 2025-0284,
wanna watch this part again.
on the indictment for count 1 being murder, the jury finds the defendant guilty of murder of unclassified
Those are her
felony.
brothers right there, like,
It's
you
dated
know,
December
he's
19,
shocked, of course.
2025, and it appears to be signed by all the members of the jury.
Crying like it's so.
Would you like the jury to hold on this?
Your Honor, I will wait for the rest of the members to ready.
All right, very good. As far as count 2 then.
You know, I don't remember,
Finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of
It's
murder
in
of
Ohio, but I don't know
unclassified felony,
I
which
forgot.
is the approximate result of the defendant committing kidnapping, which is a felony of the first degree. Again, that's dated December 19th, 2025, and appears
All right,
to be
he'll be-
signed by all 12 members of the jury. As far as count 3,
He's gonna be sentenced, I think,
murder, the jury finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of murder or unclassified felony, which was the approximate result of the defendant committing felonious assault, which is a felony of the second degree. That's dated December 19th, 2025, and is signed by all 12 members of the jury. And finally, on count 4, kidnapping, the jury finds the defendant, Paul Daniel Hicks, guilty of kidnapping in the first degree. That's also dated December 19th, 2025, and signed by all 12 members of the jury. At this time, then, will the jury poll?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, at this point, I don't know if I have my jury sheet.
Thank you, Jesus.
All right, we'll go by front row first and then work to the back. So I'm going to ask first, and I gave my sheet away with your names, and I have not memorized it. Juror number 1, is that your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
And juror number 2,
Yes.
and juror number 3,
Yes.
and juror number 4,
Yes.
juror number 5,
Yes.
juror number 6,
Yes.
juror number 7. In the back, juror number 8, juror number 9,
Hi, Cat Pepper.
juror number 10,
Yes.
juror number 11,
Yes.
and juror number 12.
Yes.
All right, so all 12 members of the jury have confirmed that those are their findings and verdicts as presented to the court. I do want to thank you all for a long 2 weeks of service. Certainly you gave this matter a lot of consideration, and I'm going to ask if any of you have the ability to stick around for a short period of time. Traditionally, it's an opportunity for the court to have an opportunity to speak with you. We can take off whenever you would like, chance to speak with the attorneys. We do the potential for a sentencing date. The sentencing date would be set for January 9th, 2026 at 1 o'clock. Anything further from the parties before we let the jury retire?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Thank you again, folks. I'll be back with you shortly.
There's one thing.
We'll take a moment.
Yeah, me too, seriously. Get his I feel so sorry for the brothers, like.
All right. Outside the presence of the jury, anything in front of the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, last April, you set a $2 million bond on the defendant. He hasn't been able to make it. Now that he's been found guilty of
Why would he have a
murder,
bond at all?
kidnapping, he's facing a sentence in prison of life with the possibility of parole. After 26 years, we would ask his bond be revoked.
All right, and the defense?
The jury deliberated, I think, for about 2.5 hours.
All right, the court will revoke bond given the sentencing options that are available to the court. All right, very good. I'm gonna
Thanks,
take a moment.
Woodman.
If
It's
they don't
every
speak
day.
with
My
the
hair
attorneys, I'll
changes
come
all
back
the
and
time
let you know.
because
Thank you, Judge.
I do it myself.
Oh, all right, just one.
Sorry.
The court reporter has reminded me that the parties have agreed they would be willing to substitute photos for purposes of the record as to the physical exhibit.
All right, so justice delayed, not justice denied for the family and supporters of Regina Hicks, the victim in this case. Again, you heard the jury. They found him guilty on all counts, including murder, 2 counts of felony murder that included kidnapping, as well as felonious assault, as well as a 4th count of kidnapping. And as you could see, it was an incredible shot.
They had a son, too.
In one instance, we saw the defendant throw his head back as he heard the guilty verdict. Meanwhile, supporters, obviously supporters of Regina Hicks in the gallery, throwing their hands up, fist pumping, happy after 25 or so years, finally getting justice.
Yeah, I also find that general. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna do that now. Watch his sister take the stand. That's not. Generally, people who are innocent, I mean, it doesn't happen that much, thank God, it's true. Is Grampy here? Thank you, Grampy. You're the sweetest. I assume you're here. Don't react that way, because they have a job to do. They realize their work is going to continue. They're going to have to keep fighting for their innocence and their acquittal and all that. So they don't really, it's only guilty criminals who do that kind of theatrics, I find, from what I can tell. Grampy always makes it rain. It's like he's in the club. Yeah, I thought he was going home for the holidays. Who knows? I mean, 25 years he got away with this, and he got away with plenty, as we saw. And apparently, the last time we did a live on this, we watched this, there was somebody in the chat who I believe was connected somehow, either lived in that town or something, and kept giving us information and said that everyone knew who it was, but everyone was terrorized by him and his family, I guess. I don't know. His sister's hair was a little terrifying, I will admit. Hey, hello, baby. So, there you go. Guilty. Why he had a bond, I don't know. I don't care how much money it was. That's ridiculous. But now he's going to be locked up forever. As he deserves, finally. That poor woman. So the next matter of business. A few things that I actually wanted to ask you guys. I didn't want to... I don't want to do it today. I don't think, because I have to get certain things. I have to get the videos queued up. But you know that woman on TikTok who fell in love with her therapist. If anyone's, I saw somebody discussing it. I think in Hear Me Out's live or something. That's kind of a fun departure. I thought we could maybe talk about that. She's kind of fun to make fun of, and she deserves it, in my opinion. Thank you, Joette. Hi, Joette. My best friend gave this to me for Valentine's Day several years ago, and it's the funniest thing ever, in my opinion. I'll show it to y'all in a second. So if you're interested in that, I'll probably do a little bit thing in that anyway, just to, I like to get a live thing out, and then we just have a good time no matter what we're talking about. Okay, Crack Pepper says yes. Yeah. Hey, Unicorn Rancher. Oh, Unicorn Rancher, I got to show you something. Oh, shit, did I? Oh, no, here we go. There you go. There's your U-log. Oh, thank you, Kim Kalta. You're so nice. Thank you very much. It's a boon log, yes. Per your requests. And And I had a thought, and I might still do this. So I have to later this afternoon, several hours from now, I'm going to go to see my parents, and oh, thank you, Dead of Night, Dead of Night. Thank you very much. Still trying to figure out how I'm supposed to, but I'm scared to touch these because then the only option is to put you on a timeout, which obviously I don't want to do. I mean, maybe if this was Hear Me Out's chat, but so you're welcome. So I thought I might do another one where we read some of her letters because I haven't looked at those in a minute and a half. I think I may have a gulag. I'll have to check that out. See, now we're all cozy. Exactly. That's the This is the mug that Joette was commenting on that says, "Woke up sexy as hell again." That my best friend got me because she's very funny. Yeah, last night was funny, right, Crack Pepper? I thought so too. I mean, it's hard to judge sometimes because I know that Hear Me Out and Eric and I have a very good relationship, but I worry that sometimes it comes off as we're fighting or there's something, But I thought it was really fun, and I thought the whole thing was pretty funny. So what I was going to do now is go over I found some information about flying monkeys, and a lot of them really nail it and give kind of a good, in my opinion, kind of overall introspection in understanding of what's going on there with these people. Bear with me 1 second. Hang on now. Where is it? Okay. Let me get myself out of the way here. possible. Okay. Hey, Mallory. Hey, Grampy. Thank you again. Thank you, Kim Kalta. And Dead of Night. Sorry, now I'm just catching up since I disappeared for an hour and a half trying to figure out how to get that on the screen. Hi, seriously. A vape called Flying Monkeys. You see, that's we need that. Okay, so I found these pretty interesting. I don't want that. Okay. When talking about narcissism, a flying monkey is a person who helps the abuser by defending their behavior and manipulating others on their behalf. People become flying monkeys due to codependence, fear of rejection, or deception. Recognizing and setting firm boundaries with flying monkeys is the key to protecting your emotional well-being. Thank God. I mean, I hope I'm speaking for all of us when I say we don't have to worry about that too much, but I'm sure we all have our own flying monkeys. Unfortunately. Although, I don't know. I don't think I do. The roles of a flying monkey. Spread lies and gossip. Flying monkeys help the narcissist achieve their goals by sharing targeted information about the target of the abuse. Forming a shared fantasy. The flying monkey becomes a part of the narcissist's false narrative, helping shape a shared but distorted reality that allows the person to feel special or unique. That really tracks for me, right? Like, it all kind of comes together with what we see. The writer overestimates my emotional well-being. Oh. Kim Calder says, last night was great. The creep in the stream was new to me. Yeah, me too. Well, not new since the night before, which made it extra interesting. And Hear Me Out, Suma, and Ex Derek were in top form. It was fun. And I mean, I have to say, I was pretty proud of Hear Me Out because he behaved himself immediately, almost immediately. I mean, not that he should behave himself any way he wants to. It's his channel, but you know. The thing about him is that he doesn't, you know, like when I say to him, like, people don't like it, that's really enough for him. Like, he likes, you know, he has a certain personality. He will pursue something until most of us would be long done with it. But he doesn't like to torture other people, which is a nice trait. Oh, the vape? Seriously? Yeah. Oh, it's a brand. Flying Monkeys is the brand. Interesting. There's so many weird vapes out there. Yeah, Carolina, you weren't there. Your great-granddaughter? Dance recital. Oh, Christmas dancers dressed in beautiful Christmas colors. How nice. That's so nice. Right, Irish. I don't understand why Lana was Sarah's flying monkey. She had a family, although these people were loners, etc. Yeah, I think you know how I feel about Lana, and I think Lana was an unusual flying monkey and I think probably because she was basically bedridden. You know, so that I would imagine, does something to you after a long while. And I think also when you're going through something like that, you think you see a victim in people that may not be, and I don't know. I just think other things speak to you differently. Of course you play the Grinch every Christmas Eve. Hello, baby. Acting as a weapon, the narcissist uses the flying monkey as a weapon to attack and control the target of abuse. In this case, there are many targets. This often happens through intimidation or manipulation. And we have I wouldn't say quite a few flying monkeys at this point, and we don't know who exactly are the flying monkeys, but everyone talking about this, other than this community, are pretty much flying monkeys. And it's pretty pathetic, actually. Not pretty pathetic, very, very, very pathetic, but somehow I still don't feel sorry. Why people become flying monkeys? There's no easy answer here, as there could be any number of reasons. Often narcissists will begin grooming their flying monkeys from the beginning, testing the relationship between you and them. Now, in this case that we're talking about, if we're talking about Sarah Boone, they had to seek her out, so she didn't start doing anything. They had to, and if memory serves, Lana was the one who facilitated all of this, and it wasn't easy. Just waiting for the sirens to pass. Yeah, she does fit the bill, just me, absolutely, and so do the other two. Wow, hello, baby. You mean this is when you were the Grinch? Poor thing. Maybe the sirens are not going to pass. I hope I'm not going to be arrested. Finally. Nope, they're right outside. Sorry, guys. Christmas time. What the hell? Hey, Kevin Brady. Thank you for being a sexy person for a month. You've never been struck right in the baby maker. Yeah, it is loud, right? Sorry. It's not stopping either. Oh, you can hear me? Hi, Kevin. Yeah, CJ. Did I say hello to you? Hi if I didn't, and hi if I did. Normally I would be, looking out the window to see what's going on. But it can't be anything too interesting because they wouldn't have the sirens still going if they were, apprehending someone right now. So it's just strange. Also, it sounds like it's on the avenue, so I probably couldn't see it anyway. Yeah. I get very used to the sound of sirens, so. And it's never a good sound, but I'm glad that obviously they're around the authorities to take care of things. Oh, CJ says, I have an external speaker on because my iPhone 12 speakers are clogged with God knows what. If they purposely make them weaker so that you have to buy a new phone. Yeah, thank you, CJ. I get more and more angry at iPhone every year, every new phone I get. They get crappier and crappier, and they were the only ones, since the original Walkman, There was no problem with the headphones, with the thing, the thing you use to plug it in. Not iPhone. iPhone just couldn't make that work. It was constantly clogged. There was always a problem with it. It's like they can't do the simplest things. You can't just go in and edit a text you're writing easily. You have to push and slide, and I just fucking hate these people. Oh, Kevin Brady, yeah. Oh, you live right next to the fire station. Yeah. That's... Ugh. Yeah, fire trucks I really don't like, because that's definitely nothing good is happening there. I mean, not that anything good is happening when the police are involved, but... And I guess it's true. Firefighters, of course, are heroes, and they rescue people all the time, but I hate the thought of any fire. Mostly because of the pets that might be in the fire. Hey, Addie. Right, Dead of Night. It's strange to hear sirens when you're, like, trying to enjoy yourself in the swimming pool. So, let's continue here. People-pleasing. Flying monkeys are often people-pleasers. And I feel like that might be a Lana thing, you know? Welcome, Unicorn Rancher. Same thing happened to my last iPhone. You're right, Sue. Our Walkmans were never clogged and went through hell. Exactly. I don't understand them. You know, they're the only ones who you have to get you have to get an adapter now to plug in their, for a while now, their earbuds, and they don't give you the adapter. Maybe they did once, I don't know, but come on. Disgraceful. Nothing works with Apple products. They're just such control freaks. People pleasers. That's what I could see Lana as, actually. They want to be helpful and don't want to disappoint the narcissist, particularly if they are a friend or relative. Fear and coercion. It's also likely that they've been manipulated or coerced by the narcissists themselves, or fear them and submit to them so they don't become a target themselves. That was George Torres all the way, of course, but he wasn't really a flying monkey in the way that we think of it. But I think all of her flying monkeys are pretty, from what we hear, even on certain calls, they back down right away. Coming at 9, I don't know how that's going to work. You don't know how that's going to work, you stupid bitch? Get up and go meet him at 9. Please, you have to change the time. For a long time I said that I really don't want her to get her ass beat because she'll enjoy being the victim, but I think I might have changed my stance on that. Denial. They could be in denial or simply lack the emotional intelligence or empathy to understand the harm they are participating in. Explains Laura Kerwin, PhD, licensed clinical psychologist. Often, flying monkeys fulfill their role without actually realizing it or genuinely believing that the narcissist is in the right because they're taken in by them and their perspective. Okay, let's see if that's good. NPD. Somebody with narcissistic personality disorder might be a flying monkey. In this case, a narcissist might submit to another one if there's something in it for them. Money, power, or the hope of overtaking them in the future. I would add to that attention. Money, power, and attention. Anxiety. People with anxiety might be drawn to the power and confidence of the narcissist projects, which is interesting because we often say we just had an ounce of her confidence. Her confidence is completely insane, but I think most of us kind of to the point of like we err in the other direction, not to the extreme that she does in that direction, but me too. Jill Corby says, I'd like to be a fly and spend one day with Sarah. Me too. Maybe not a whole day, but maybe. Just to see what she does and how people treat her and how stupid she acts and what her hair looks like. Kevin Brady says, I have no idea how Sarah was able to keep anyone in her awful life. It's amazing, although she did not have many people in her life. She just had Brian, who had no choice, and poor George. But that was pretty much it, as we saw from the people who came to speak for her at her sentencing. Right. We don't hate Sarah, just everything about her. That's the thing, seriously. I was wondering about Android, although I worry about like the security of it just because I had an issue when I had an Android. Somebody I didn't even know hacked my phone, and but I do consider it. I just worried that their camera isn't as good, honestly. The balls of a burglar. Exactly, Unicorn Rancher. Grampy. Grampy says that his one Christmas, his son bought him an iPhone. He called him a week later and told him to come get this thing out of my apartment. That's funny. Codependence. Codependent people may like to serve a narcissist as a way of feeling purpose and satisfaction with their life. Yeah. That's the way. I mean, do charity work, right? Like, go work for an animal shelter or something. I mean, just really, that's what you're doing? But okay. Also, this is, as I said, talking about people in your life who happen to be narcissists and get kind of manipulate you into doing their bidding. We're talking about people who seeked out somebody who is a known horrible narcissistic criminal. Killer. How can you tell if someone is a flying monkey? Signs someone is a flying monkey. They side with the narcissist no matter the situation or evidence presented to them. That's what got me the most when I was reading these, because, wow. What the hell's wrong with these people? Now I'm reading the chat about the iPhones. Yeah, there were so many. Speaking for her, the judge didn't listen. That's right, dead of night. All criminals in their own right, or ex-criminals. They side with the narcissist no matter what the situation or evidence presented to them. They spread gossip or rumors about you. I guess you is the person that is the target. And yeah. They gaslight or manipulate you. Oh, I guess they're right. They will spread rumors about the flying monkey, which also makes sense because they have zero loyalty. They dismiss or trivialize your feelings, of course. They pass on information about you to help the narcissist harass you. Okay, I see. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's 100% it. Crazy. I have some other ones too. Completely insane. This is a website called flyingmonkeysdenied.com, which I thought was pretty funny. There's also something here about how narcissists ruin every holiday, which was interesting because in one of my videos we were talking about, it must have been how a narcissist thinks, and there were a lot of comments about how, you know, if someone had a narcissist as an ex-husband or whatever, just like would ruin every fucking holiday. There you go. Cluster B individuals weaponized textbooks, stole laundry money, and have done tremendous psychological, social, medical, physical, and financial harm to literally everybody they've encountered, without regard to race, religion, national origin, or any of the other tools they manufactured in narcissistic... What's LP? Oh, I don't know. To divide and conquer their socially harvested and oftentimes oblivious captives. I guess they're talking about a specific case, situation. Here we go. What are flying monkeys? Oh, come on. Oh, I see. I would like to read the one from her brother, the letter. There are 3 key things to know about what and who flying monkeys who enable social predators who are stronger than them to thrive in real life. Enablers are flying monkeys, or enablers are flying monkeys. Some enablers know they are assisting the predator by mistreating prey, while others do harm by parroting the crowd of steadfastly refusing to engage any form of social spine or brain. Wow, that's harsh. Enablers act abusively toward everyone they came into contact with in an attempt to please a malignant narcissist. That's what our Sarah Boone is. They are ultimately transactional and fear abandonment, as well as feelings of weakness or lack of any form of social power. Technically speaking, enablers are even more karmically liable than overt abusers themselves. Many abusers abuse without being able to control their outbursts for medical reasons. But an enabling acts as a social predator's flying monkey because it benefits the enabler somehow. typically socially or emotionally, in their own mind, despite them typically being fully aware that they are actively or passively supporting the abuser. Yeah. Wow. And it goes into the history of flying monkeys. Doesn't interest me as much. Narcissist people tend to flock together in predatory packs, striving to impress their role models in their quest to make themselves feel powerful. This is not written that well, this whole site, I've noticed. Odd. I don't know why that is, but there are a lot of mistakes. But the information is good. The best is not good enough. If one is accepted as a peer or a peer of a social predator, one must be the best at being the worst, taking out or down anyone who is perceived as better. Interesting. The alpha fears social abandonment and loss of civic or physical power the most. The beta tends to fear losing access to the perks socially supporting alphas bring them, as illusory signs that the person has some special kind of clout or personal status. Yeah, and that's how she acts. Enablers strive to be legitimized, praised, and be a valid social success. However, in truth, they are nothing more than aspiring predators at best. All meet the social and emotional criteria of weak, covert narcissists. Noting that covert is a psychological term referring to men or women that our grandparents and great-grandparents probably referred to as passive-aggressive. That's odd also, wording. Self-help advocates seek to educate narcissistic abuse targets so they understand what happened to them while striving to teach red flags and warning signs. A sheep in wolf's clothing is around to anyone who an abuser strives to recruit to their harem. If even one person clicked like on this website, our team here succeeded in our medical ministry as well as our ongoing mission. Okay. Almost like Sarah wrote that for them. Thank you, Joette. I would love to have some 200-pound ladies sit at Sarah's table and tell her to move her junk off their table. Yeah. Anyone, I think, could probably beat her ass at this point. I mean, she's not a good fighter. She just would fight with people who were smaller than her, and she's nasty. She's a dirty fighter, but... Carolina says, in my opinion, Sarah's arrogance and pride didn't help her narcissistic, manipulative ways. That blocked her from accepting 15. Yeah, I mean, she's her own worst enemy. She can't get out of her own way. Because to her, the most important thing is her image, what people think of her and how she looks and all that. It's completely insane, right? Like, and I guess that is a very narcissistic trait. Hey, Candace. Right, she couldn't take responsibility. As she said, the only things that Sarah has said that she stuck by that turned out to be true is, because I'll never admit it, because it's not true, which is ridiculous, but she just wouldn't, that would be a fate worse than life in prison for her, is to admit that she's guilty, that she's did this, which is, and it's also such a good example, it's such an excellent example of how little she really cares about her son and seeing her son, and why I don't know. I think Brian does a great job, and I do not envy him. And this in no way, I don't really even feel this way, because I feel like, I mean, I can't even imagine if it were me in that situation. I think me and my son would be missing. You'd never be able to find us again. I just couldn't deal with it. But I think he's dealing with it really well, and he plays the long game, and that's smart. But I do worry about his son having too much exposure to Sarah. Right. She was also, hi Jill, not an alcoholic and an excellent mother. She was an outstanding mother to her son, to be precise. Exactly, Bloodbath. Sarah did whatever it took to read that allocution. 100%. That was the only thing she cared about, and I think that she would do it again. That was the most, she could not wait to get up there and hit her flow. This bizarre, evil human being that she is. Right. All Sarah had to do was take accountability, and that would have given her a bad look, because we knew, because we on you and she and George. Right. We all knew that she and George were both alcoholics, even that was too much to admit. Absolutely. She was not admitting that. And that was, I think, the thing she wanted to least admit somehow. She forced herself. I don't know. And I got to say, like, the more I watch the trial over and think about all the things that have happened, and the more, and I always say this and I stand by it, I'm not a huge fan. I don't think that James Owens is a great guy at all, but he pretty much, I mean, he was really the only option there. I mean, he had no choice, it's true, but he was able to accomplish certain things. I also think that having to almost go pro se scared her a little bit, as much as anything can. But the fact that she would even admit it at all to drink, and he kept pushing it when she was on the stand, because he knew it was important. Well, were you drinking too? Yes, but she did it. She admitted it, and he made that happen. 100%. Yeah, she only cares about her son, how it reflects on her. Exactly. She wants him to need her to be a better person, which is fucking terrifying, all things considered, wouldn't you say? Yeah. You just think bad, like cursing, that's because of Brian. Do you think he's upset? He's upset because you let him curse? Can explain that. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. I'm not. And the other day, you guys were saying you're not alcoholics. Well, I'm not. Carolina says, after the dust has settled, I have come to my conclusion that Sarah is just dumb. Oh, yeah, for sure. Isn't wired like ours, right? Her brain isn't wired like ours. Yeah, she needs to be studied once she's gone for good, is right. She has personality disorders, problems there, and she's nasty besides. I think she was just born nasty, right? And stupid. It would drive me crazy, because for a while there was this, people like content creators were saying that she's not stupid and she's smart, and I was like, I'm not. She's not smart. I don't think this is a smart person, Hey, Fletcher. That's true. You make a very good point. If Sarah had Pop-Tarts, she would have won. I mean, it couldn't have hurt, right? I'm so glad that he didn't get her Pop-Tarts. He already spent enough money on that crazy bitch. And I'm also glad that he was smart enough, he at least, to drop her like a bad habit once the last time he walked away from her after that fucking allocution. Yeah, not only does she think she's smart, Candace, but she's very quick to tell everyone how smart she is. Medical sugar, right. Dead of night, she went through hell and high water to get him that fish soap. Oh my God, that poor kid. Yeah, I had to act happy. And also, it's so typical of, the fact that you're never done with her. Grampy says, Sarah's "if I may please" makes Grampy grumpy. Yeah. And my guess is it takes a lot to make Grampy grumpy. You're never done with her. It's like, you get the soap. Now you have to wait for her to be on the Zoom call to open it in front of her. And that's not so easy either, because she'll put that off and she'll make all kinds of other problems and she'll be angry and just, you're never done. She's constantly creating a problem. There's always more work to be done for her. It's never finished. It's fucking horrible. I know someone like that. Not like that, but that type of, or I used to know someone like that. Just graceful. Yeah, she uses the word please like most people use punctuation marks. And I feel like she more recently added forgive me. Because the one thing she will never say is I'm sorry. So, this is Forever Wonder. I love that James put on his quilted coat as soon as the sentence was uttered. Me too, Forever Wonder. And I also, what's funny is when he put that coat on, I was like, that's a nice jacket. Maybe now I get why he did this whole thing, just to show off that jacket, which, all right, That was after he tried to get her to show some remorse. Can you show some remorse? Never happy, never satisfied. It's never enough for her. And we hear it on these fucking calls that are heavily redacted, I'm sure. But that just gives you an idea of what really went on there. My God. I mean, not that it's surprising, but she's just amazing. Yeah, that green padded jacket was awesome. And somebody, I don't know if it's somebody here, but somebody told me that it's from Finger Hut, which I was like, wow, how did you... And it is, I mean, because I was trying to find out where it's from too, because Janika was looking for it, and I was just kind of, just became like a pet project trying to figure it out. Kind of like trying to figure out what the hell is on Sarah's t-shirt in that one body cam where she just bought this yesterday. But Finger Hut I never would have come up with. Crazy. Hey, Val. I love how bruised she was when she found out Mary was Peter's wife. Can you imagine how many times he's probably mentioned Mary? That she didn't know? Who's Mary? I'm glad you have each other. And that's because she never asks a question. She doesn't ask, are you married? None of it. I don't know what's taking so long with Judge Jackson. I'm trying not to think about it at all now because, She also said Owen didn't give a shit about her anymore. Yeah, exactly. I was kind of, right, and never did. But she was moving on because she was enlisting Peter as more of a monkey now because Owens was done with her. And my guess is that she's pretty used to people being done with her and she knows all the signs and then uses it to make herself the victim with other people. Yeah, that makes sense, Carolina, that everyone ordered that jacket. That's funny. I wonder if the fish soap is sold out. I don't think it is last time we looked. Hank the Horn agrees. Yeah. They're also playing handball in the park across. I don't know if you can hear them hitting them. These people, why don't they do what I do? Stay the fuck home in your apartment and don't bother anyone. That's all. That's all we want. Don't be out there committing crimes. We don't have all the sirens. Stay in New Jersey. Don't come over here in your car and honk your horn. Idiots. Caroline, I know that's all we all want. She treats everyone like a lover, I think. I think she treated Christina, literally everyone, because she's such a love bomber, right? Dead of night? Like, she's such a fucking phony. Beautiful. I knew that, and I'm assuming that this is still the case, and was and is, that Christina Pena would not be able to, and nor should she continue that relationship. I mean, that's the worst, is for people who are trying to get their lives together. You don't need to be working for that idiot for free. Less than free. Unicorn Rancher says, Judge Jackson has 6 months to rule. Brian's son, I think she really has forever. I mean, it's never considered late, but Brian's son is physically safe, so the case isn't urgent, right? Hopefully she can review the emotionally abusive. Yeah, I wonder, like, I wonder if she revisits even what he's requested. Like, I've had these questions answered, but I never sticks for some reason. Or it's never, the law is like, it's never a concrete answer. There are always stipulations and stuff. Fletcher says, I'm loving the delay by Judge Jackson. Sarah is accustomed to people doing things on her time. Well, yeah, or being able to complain. But what was it so, the last letter she wrote to the family court, I could be getting this wrong, but I think I'm right, Carolina, or anyone who knows. Last letter she wrote to the court, they wrote her, I'm sure she didn't understand this, but they posted something or replied to her saying, since you obviously have counsel, since you were blaming all these people for not doing your legal work correctly, you can no longer communicate directly. It has to be one of your esquires. Kim Calta says, Third R dispelled his own claim of neutral documentarian in last call. Yes, just a few. Going to people's homes, asking them to speak for her, rounding up witnesses, processing paperwork, lapdog, no, not documentarian. Absolutely, and let's not forget that guy they interviewed who outside the courthouses. What? Yeah. She can look at, I don't know what she can look at. Absolutely, Kim Calder. These last phone calls were the ones I thought they looked the worst in, and I'm really hoping that eventually the calls are actually released by the DOC and we get to hear the unredacted version. It might just be a pipe dream, but I can dream. I wonder if the judge ordered a forensic exam on her. Hi, Sharon. What do you mean? I like how it sounds, but I want to know. I need to understand. Help me to understand, please. If foremost. That guy, thank you, Unicorn Rancher. That's what I said. As you know, that guy was a paid actor and not paid a lot from Craigslist. They posted something. They were like, show up at and say what we want, and the end. That guy was 100%. Seriously says, what I like about the recorded calls is P and J shining her on getting her an attorney. Yeah. For family court. Didn't quite happen. Shocker. It hasn't been, I think the family trial was August 25th, right? September, October, November. So it's been like 4 months. It was August, right? Or September 25th. I think it was August, but either way, it's 4 or 5 months then. Right, and those were after his edits. Yeah. Margaret. Margaret is, right, his secretary. Damn you, Margaret. Oh, like if DFS is called, there's usually an investigation. But I don't know if, yeah, I don't know. Hey Sharon, you too. Happy holidays. Yeah, 4 months. If I may, see, Grumpy? I know, it makes you grumpy, but sometimes it's funny. If I may, please. So I have this thought of the killer thing. Oh, August 25th. Okay, thank you, Unicorn. Do you think it's possible that that's something they say in prison or jail? Like, you know, I'm sure they have their, like, certain things that they think is, you know, like we all do. Just because she said it a few times now, killer, and it's a strange, I mean, she's strange and she says strange things for sure, but this is a new one, I think. Yes, Fletcher boy. Owens took the case for publicity and then realized Sarah is a nut job and the case was doomed from day one. Right. He still tried though. And I also think Vel says, does anyone else doubt that Peter's story about the animal farm or sanctuary or whatever it is? I get more of a broker or real estate vibe from him. Yeah, no, you're right. And I think he was some kind of worked in finance for a minute and a half or whatever, as did Julian. But, I mean, I don't believe anything he says. So, fast answer, no. And, I agree that Owens took it for publicity and then, and also the thing is that he did pretty well, I thought, publicly speaking to like court TV and stuff. But nobody can survive Sarah Boone. Like nobody gets away unscathed. You can't, if you think that this is a known quantity, you're wrong. She will destroy you. She's just, and that almost gives her too much power, but that is the one thing that she can accomplish is just being horrible. And had he actually been a true crime fan and watched YouTube like he claims he did, which I do not believe for a second, he would have taken this case, in my opinion. And I also think that really the way he should have done it, instead of immediately starting on the offensive where, he just thinks it's ridiculous that her counsel was taken away from her and everyone deserves to be represented. He should have said that he understands why they were taken away, but he decided to step up so that the process could be moved along swiftly. Not even about her rights, just to get this show on the road, because then that would have been and of course he never should have talked about George's brother and what happened there. That was fucking disgraceful. But then he would have been more of a champion for justice and the system, not a champion for this killer. I mean, that was just fucking stupid. I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people. Is Tanika here? I didn't see her. Maybe she's blocked me. Oh, hey, Tanika. I hope so. Yeah, it takes a long time to see that. Yeah, she'll have no choice. She won't be able to control herself, but to send more letters. I hope you're feeling good. We finished off the trial of just the verdict of that whole case, Paul Hicks, and then we were talking about some articles I saw about flying monkeys. You know, what makes them tick and why they do what they do and what they do and all the things. Yeah, Sarah's flirting not good. I love it when she tries to get a hug and that guy fist bumps her. No one was safe around her. Not the cops. No one. Yes, Grampy James Owens is a bottom feeder. Yep. I hated him for doing that too, for bringing up that thing that happened. I thought that they were so thrilled when they got that news, and that it's just so. It didn't go over well, but if he had any kind of, and if he wasn't, what he is, he would have known that wouldn't have gone down well. That's not that you don't act that way. You don't do that. Yes, Fletcher is also enjoying that the appellate attorney has not posted anything publicly. The uncertainty drives Sarah crazy. Absolutely. And the more uncertainty she has, the more trouble she gets herself in. Because she just wants to know you might wanna or you might wanna. But no one's going to tell her if she might wanna. James did invest in the oppressed. Disgusting. Right, Carolina. So Carolina says, I checked the Florida family court website and it said that they have 180 days to respond. But I feel like that, from what I read, and I don't remember where I heard or read this, but it was legitimate, said that's the guideline, but you can take as long as you want. So we can all kiss Judge Jackson's ass. Hey, Disney Mom, I don't know if I said hello to you. That police officer was like, stay back, weirdo. Yeah. And that when he was in the apartment, in the townhome with her, and she wanted him to sit next to her on that sofa, I say it all the time, but his life flashed before his eyes. I could feel his panic. He's like, oh, I'm going to have to, this story is going to end before turning the gun on himself. That's how this is going to have to happen if it comes down to it. Yeah, and he made a big stink about George's mother gasping in the video, too. Yeah, he just made some poor choices there that didn't look good. And honestly, at that point, he should have known he knew who he was dealing with there. I'm not sure. But he was committed. He did his job as best he could, given the circumstances. Right, Val. People telling themselves they're honest unintentionally about all the wrong things. It's amazing. And we can tell in Sarah's, even Sarah's sentencing speech, the things that she said, the claims that she made, told us everything that she herself did. And, like peed on herself, etc. She brought up things that were not necessary. They weren't brought up in trial. Most of them because they were lies, if not all of them, of course. But it was the choice of the lies that showed us what she, yeah, he was like, no, I'd rather arrest you. Or, turn myself in for whatever. Like, he just was not, there was no way he was going to start sitting next to her and start, she's a monster. You might want to past tensistically take the plea. Unfortunately, she can't legalistically do that. Dandy. Yeah, the motion for snacks was gold. I, yeah, the alcohol fumes coming off her in that Florida heat, and God knows what else. I mean, also they have a pool at Tilwood Apartments. She never went swimming. I mean, I would be swimming every day, and swimming drunk is fun too. So there's no excuse. Yeah, dead of night. That was pretty. He had no choice. He had to do everything for her because she is impossible and she will make his life hell. Yeah, it included like 5 peppermints to something, right? Idiot. I'm sure he may have facilitated the peppermint himself because that couldn't have been a great situation. Fish Soap Sarah has to tell everyone how smart she is. Otherwise they wouldn't know. Right, Joette. Yeah, Disney, I do think that, I mean, luckily, I don't think that James Owens has the get embarrassed gene, so he was fine, but even he had moments, like during that snack thing, where he looked a little embarrassed. But we could have always been projecting. It was something specific too, like 5 peppermints, right? You know what? We can find it. Hang on. What am I doing? What am I doing? While I'm looking for it, I'm going to... play the fire. Have you sit by the fire. There's also a fire. The fire crackles too. I just thought that given my neighborhood, it might sound like trucks backfiring or something. Oh my God, you guys. I've been on top chat this whole fucking time. Why am I so stupid? Yeah, crackling, Dandy. What do you think of that? You see that? That's okay, Grampy. I can't hear you hollering, and I'm doing the same. No, he has no shame, Val. Owens has no shame. That's why he could work with her. Guilty Words did a post on a sidebar where Owen snapped that Jay complained about everything. Yes, I think Lazy Gamer did too. You know, I want to, but I want to go through the trial and read the sidebars as they happen. But the sidebars, that document is 2,000 pages. And it's the kind of thing, like, if I don't have it printed, I'm trying to figure out how to do it, basically. Disney Mom, I just have this image in my mind. Sarah is sitting there with Pop-Tarts, mints, chips in front of her and crunching while she's eating. Absolutely. Popcorn, just, you know, Dr. Pepper. Amazing. Why would that come up? Okay.
Jury seated. They started on Monday. They're going to continue today. They have a motions hearing set for 9:30.
Definitely choosing
Apparently
their mouth
still
open, for sure.
some outstanding motions, and then they're going to continue picking the jury in the afternoon. And in case you didn't hear, Sarah Boone filed a motion requesting snacks at her trial. And so we're going to get the answer from the judge this morning about that.
Hey,
Take
Michelle.
a listen.
Yes, sir, Mr. Owens.
Judge, my client tells me that they wake her up at 2:30 in the morning, and then she's kept in a holding cell until she's brought to court here at 6:30 in the morning, and then of course she's brought up around 9, and then she'll leave today about 5:30 or 6 and be in 2 different holding cells. She'll finally get to her dorm about 9 or 9:30. They stop allowing showers after 9 p.m. She got there after that time, but they allowed her to shower since she hadn't had one. She's asking that, they get commissary there at the jail. She's asking that the officer that escorts her be allowed to bring her commissary. She's asking for 2 juice packs.
Hang on. I'm trying to get this so we can see Owens. Although, I mean, really, we only need to see Sarah. But we could see them both. That would be good, right? Okay, I think this.
5 peppermints, 2 bags of chips, a bag of candy, and a bag of either cookies or a Pop-Tart to allow her through
her
the day.
hair.
I think they serve them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich down in the basement at lunch. But she's
full
not
beat
diagnosed
for the
with
drag
any
queen
kind
to
of
do her
blood sugar,
makeup.
but she says she gets like today. She's feeling tired and lethargic, and so she feels like those items
She's feeling lethargic.
during a break,
This
that
bitch.
she could have something like that to keep her energy level. I'm asking for the court's permission that she be allowed to do that.
State, any response?
Not the state attorney's office and any of the parties involved.
Okay. I will speak to the captain of the jail if I can get a hold of her before 5 o'clock tonight and see what, if anything, we can do. I can't make any promises. My understanding from the deputies is that there are 2 bagged meals which are given, which include cookies as well, that are provided for Ms. Boone. And that's for all inmates that are stored downstairs during trials. So I'll inquire of the jail staff if I can get a hold of them this evening, and hopefully have an
Val,
answer,
I found
if
that
any, tomorrow.
she's actually better behaved than I would have thought.
This woman is on trial accused of committing a murder, and she's concerned about her snacks.
Correct.
Snacks. She's not going to the movies. She's going to her homicide trial. And she's being specific. She's going, I want, 5 peppermints. I want to have a Pop-Tart or some cookies, 2 bags of potato chips. Get real. This lady's unbelievable. What
She
about
didn't
the
have someone to do her
sadness
makeup.
she
They
might
didn't
feel
allow
for
that.
Her boyfriend, George Torres, who lost his life. He
Not
doesn't
even
get to eat
tight-lined,
anything.
yeah. I don't think it was
And by
eyeliner.
the
I
way,
don't know what
the
the hell
jail
it
is sending over meals for her. My understanding, 2 meals to be sent over. So it's not like this woman is starving. She just must think she's special. Let's bring in our attorney guest to talk about this very seasoned trial attorney. He was a homicide prosecutor, Randolph Rice, on the program today. Randolph, can you believe this lady? The nerve with her.
The balls of a burglar, as Tanika says.
I can't, and this seems to be consistent with what she's been doing since the beginning of this charges. Remember, she's been, and we've talked about this for a couple of months ago, she's gone through, 9 lawyers now, and this seems to be consistent with what she has done leading up to this point. I guarantee she had this conversation with her defense team. They probably told her, no, we're not going to ask the judge that, and she probably pushed back, and they thought, you know what? Just to cover ourselves, we're going to ask the judge, as crazy as it may be. And I guarantee you this, the defense attorney was embarrassed to ask for that request. When he turned around, he looked like the most embarrassed person in the world because he knew how silly it was. He knew how ridiculous it was. But he still has to do what his client is asking.
Right, which is exactly what we were just saying. Hi, Flora. Why is she so obsessed with showers? She's sad all day. That's the other thing is... I almost got the feeling Owens was more concerned about her taking a shower than she was, which who knows why. It wouldn't surprise me. But it's like the whole thing with the deodorant that she recently had in one of these nonsense calls. Like, what do you need deodorant for? How often do you break a sweat? You're just lying there all day with your Bible. You know? Also, I don't believe any of that nonsense anyway. The lion, the witch, the nerve of that bitch comes to mind. I gotta turn off the crackling fire.
To do, and here we are with another crazy request from Ms. Boone.
Yes, Randolph, you're so right. You said what we are all thinking, that attorney would never want to ask those questions of a judge, would never think of that. But because he's got a bossy client, he did what she probably pushed him to do. I think your analysis is spot on. Here's another clip I want to show you, Randolph, where she's probably pushing for more outfits. She's very concerned about how she looks. We know that she wanted a glam squad. She wanted a professional hair and makeup artist, an artist to do her hair and makeup for this trial. I mean, it's incredible to me. Let's listen to what her lawyer said to the judge about that.
She expressed, it was a 2-week trial, she wanted to wear something different every day. They
Oh,
expressed
Kim,
to me that
I'm
if
sorry
I would
about
just
the
bring her
lemonade.
clothes every morning, whatever she wanted to wear, and then pick them up in the evening, the clothes she wanted that day, that would work with them instead of going to the visitation center and that whole process. So I think that is probably the way to go.
Okay. Well, then that saves the phone call that I had set up with Captain DiGiovanni at 12:30 today to try to figure out what the issue was with the clothing.
Yeah, I don't know, seriously. I
Always
guess
an
they were
issue
supposed
with her,
to pay for
Randolph,
her
as you
snacks.
know. Would you speak to how things typically go when you're getting a client ready for a trial, and if they're being held in jail prior to the start of the trial? Certainly there are challenges. We acknowledge that. Would you kind of speak to what's normal in the process?
She wore her
Randolph?
skirt sideways and
Sure.
backwards.
So each jurisdiction is different, and it depends on how the sheriff's department or the department that controls the jail and does the transport deals with each
Candace, I agree.
inmate. Some departments would rather have the attorney bring the clothing or the family member bring the clothing to the jail, allow the defendant to get dressed at the jail, and then transport them that morning in the clothing. Some jurisdictions, the sheriff's department, rather the lawyer bring the clothing. And obviously all this stuff has to be searched, right? Because they don't want things from the family maybe being snuck in. So that there are security concerns that they have about checking the clothing, make sure that there wasn't something put in there by a family member. So it is a lot for the sheriff's department or whichever the police department that's handling that transport to deal with this every single day. It is doable, but it's a lot of work to add on top of. Remember, she's not the only one in that courthouse that day. They're bringing other inmates over. So it's not the Sarah Boone show. It is the sheriff's department having to bring multiple people, and she's probably gumming up the works with all of her requests.
Not probably,
You're so
definitely.
Right, Randolph, you're so right. Can you imagine her in the transport van? Because, you know, that's the way it goes for our wonderful courties. You know, there's a big van that goes from the jail, multiple trips sometimes, and you have multiple prisoners in it. As Randolph noted, it's not the Sarah Boone show, although she'd like to make
Or
it
makeup,
the Sarah Boone
Val.
show. I wonder what those other inmates
Or brushing
think
her
about
teeth,
her,
or
what they're
deodorant.
saying about having to spend that time in the van with her and hear about these crazy requests. Oh my gosh, I bet they have stories to tell. I have another clip I'd like to play for you, Randolph. And this is where her attorney,
I don't
if you
think she might not
recall
know
the other
about
day, the
Nordstrom's.
judge was asking about the defense witness list, and Sarah Boone threw her excellent counsel right under the bus and said, I haven't seen the list, and I'm not agreeing to it because I don't know what's on it, and really made it seem like they haven't communicated. And we know James Owens is a very seasoned attorney and has communicated with her. And so here,
That's how she does.
fast forward to the other day, she finally agrees as to who is on the witness list. Let's watch.
Forgive me, Your Honor. Could you please repeat the question?
Sure. The question was, without going to any specifics about conversations that you've had with you and your attorneys, are you in agreement with the persons that have been identified in that list that may be called as witnesses in your case?
Candace, she has to be
I'm
comfortable.
not familiar with everyone that's on here, but I do agree with whoever it is that they have on here.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Randolph, she's, you know what, she's, what do I want to say? What's the expression? Dumb like a fox, right? She kind of played a little dumb there.
Crazy
about,
like a fox.
Well, I don't know who's on the list, but I guess I agree. Do you think she's trying to set up some kind of post-conviction relief for herself or ineffective assistance with some of these comments she makes?
I certainly think she is. She is probably trying to lay the groundwork for either a appeal or some sort of complaint against her attorney saying that they didn't provide me this information. I never got to look at it. You know, that could certainly be a basis for an appellate court to look at this case and say, well, you know what, we need to give her a new trial. She's being very sly. Again, this is the Sarah Boone show. You know, she thinks she's smarter than everybody else. And
well,
so
apparently you think she's pretty smart too, you idiot. Now tell me, do you think that she was setting herself up for an appeal? Guys? I love trying to watch it too, Deb. It's so funny. And also because they make it, I laugh at myself because it makes me so crazy when they're like, she's doing this and she's not stupid. And I go, like Grampy said, I'm just screaming at the TV. Yeah, not smart like a fox, dumb like a Sarah Boone. I feel like no, thank you, Grampy. She was just, her go-to is just, she's always going to say, well, I haven't seen it and nobody gave it to me. She's been saying that for 5 years at this point. She never saw her discovery, and we all know very well that everything she says is a lie, and it's all to make herself look like it's not her fault that she didn't do anything. I mean, she finally got her discovery after carrying on like a crazy person, and she couldn't even open one file. Not more than one. I've been so busy. Doing what? You think she was setting up for an appeal? I don't, because every time he asked if she was happy with her lawyer, she was like, yes, very. She was just covering her ass because she didn't want to look stupid. And she didn't want to give an answer, probably. She's impossible. She even gave Owens a problem when he was questioning her direct on the stand. You'd say you were on and off? No. And then he went through the whole thing about how it was on and off. And she was like, yeah, several times we broke up. He's like, okay, so on and off. Yeah. Just wants to be contrary. Yeah, looks like she lied about her size. Nothing new on the Sarah Boone Suitcase Killer show. That's right. She is ridiculous, Mallory.
Cryptic. I think she's maybe trying to be a little difficult, which, look, she's going to be difficult through this whole trial. There is no doubt about that. So, you know, with the food requests and the clothing requests, and by the way, Julie, do you have any more Pop-Tarts? Could you send some to me, please?
Yes, Randolph, absolutely. You deserve all the Pop-Tarts. You're one of our favorite legal analysts. And gosh, I know, I wish I could, you know, send some through the television to you right now.
No, I wasn't teaching him a lesson.
Yeah, we should get snacks, right? We don't snack, we do our jobs. That's what we do. My goodness. Randolph, do you think the judge, before we hit a break,
Fletcher boy,
the judge is going to grant this request? Because at the end of the day, it's in his hands, as you know. What do you think?
She was offered her own cell where she could work privately, which is what she pretended is all she cared about. But no, because in her words, she did have some comforts there, and those comforts were hanging around with her other bully friends, acting like an asshole. Even though she claims she can sit without a peep, not so fast. She needs the big bay.
Judge seems to be a no-nonsense kind of judge. He's going to call it right down the middle. Remember, judges are there to call balls and strikes, and they're going to take the law, they're going to take the current rules that have been set up by the courts, and they're going to say, look, I'm looking at what you presented to me.
I don't think she
I'm going to look at the
believes
facts.
anything,
I'm going to look
really.
at the law and what the courts have said, and I'm going to make a call here. I'm going to make a balls and strike decision here, and we're going to make it reasonable. And so I think he's going to make reasonable calls. But
I also just think she's very unrealistic, and again, it comes to the perception. She just doesn't want to be seen as somebody who's going to spend the rest of her life in prison.
don't think he's going to put up with her shenanigans as this trial proceeds.
Right, right. And we know she doesn't have a medical issue of low blood sugar and doesn't have a need to have candy or juices there at the desk. And the jury's not getting it, right? You know, the jury's not getting snacks to munch on. So why should she?
Hey, Julie, 2 hots and a cot. That's what we always say, and that's what you get, you know? But trust me, the sheriff's department is providing plenty of food. It sounds like she's getting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it sounds like she's even getting cookies. I don't even get cookies during my lunch. She's doing better than we are.
There were challenges.
We got to talk to somebody about that. We got to get some cookies for Randolph Rice and some Pop-Tarts. You're the best, Randolph. Stand by kindly, if you would, please. We're going to hit our first break of the hour right now, friends.
I wanted to see that. Where was it? Oh, no. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Torres is dead because the defendant believed he deserved to be zipped shut in a suitcase. So that.
Oh, what is this? Oh, it's the sentencing. Sorry, that's not what I wanted. It's so funny, we always end up watching Sarah Boone. Because we're always talking about her, so. She doesn't have. Dead of night, she can't be any better than she is.
Ma'am, good morning. Could you please state your full name and date of birth for the record for me? I do see that we have a representative from JACS that's appearing virtually. Sir, can I get your appearance for the record as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Christian Lake with the Justice Administrative Commission.
Okay, very good.
My high school, every year they would add new rules to the dress code, and most of them were things that I had done, like no fishnets with uniform, which is rude.
Good. All right, we've got a couple of things that we're going to be addressing this morning. The first is the motions, Ms. Boone, that you had made reference the last time I saw you.
Constitutional rights were violated.
The court has reviewed all of those motions. I've reviewed also JACS's reply, specifically their response to the motion seeking due process costs that was filed on July 30, 2024.
CJ.
State, have you had the opportunity to review all of Ms. Boone's motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, I want to go through each one of them and hear from the state, from yourself, and from JACS. We're going to start first with the, y'all can be seated, you don't need to stand, thank you. The defendant's temporary motion for reservation of proposed costs.
I had a pair of high heels that were so high that my mother would kill me if she saw me wearing them. But I would take them to school with me and then put them on.
That request seeks to reserve any and all costs
oh, bye, Grampy.
to be incurred to acquire and
fry your wings. I swear I'm going to come to your house.
For reservation of proposed costs to acquire
all right, have a great night.
Defendant's defense and trial.
See you later.
July 18th,
Thanks.
2024, received July 29th, 2024. The request is to reserve any and all costs proposed to be incurred to acquire all witnesses for trial. And then defendant's temporary motion for depositions to be conducted per FRCP Rule 3.220 by defendant under pro se attorney title and position ordered by the judge in court, dated July 18th, 2024, and received July 29th, 2024.
Right. No nipple tassels. Just nonsense.
All three motions reflect to be determined or TBD with regard to the investigator, witnesses, and deponents. The total amounts are to be determined. How to calculate is unknown. As to the depositions,
I tried.
are to be determined, and the amount of transcripts are unknown. Mr. Lake, I've reviewed your response. Do you have anything else to add, sir, with regard to those items, investigators, witnesses, or deponents?
Not really, Your Honor. The only thing is if we can provide Ms. Boone a copy of our pro se packet.
Yes,
has
Tanika.
Information about including model motions.
I believe
We
so.
have to send her a copy or to send your JA a copy that you could send to give to her that might help her for purposes of future motions. But as far as these are concerned, I think our response pretty much outlines
I like this guy.
what our position was to each of those, as to each of those requests.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you would be so kind to send that to Ms. Barrios, we will ensure that Ms. Boone gets a copy of it. State, do you have any position with regard to those three motions that the court just identified?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, ma'am. So previously, Prison
That's
Break
right,
Investigations
CJ.
was already appointed
Someone
to
had
be
to
your
do something
investigator.
around.
The JAC has no objection to authorizing $5,000 in costs for prison break and for $500 for obtaining case-related documents and materials on your behalf. So seeing as there's no objection, even though you were asking for a reservation,
Her
I'm
fucking
going to go
face.
ahead and permit
Air.
that cost to be incurred. With regard to the costs for witnesses and the depositions, you are requesting, as I identified earlier, just to reserve those costs. And as I had said earlier, the motions do not identify who the witnesses are or what the deponents are. So I'm going to deny those motions with
Were you a
prejudice.
deadhead?
But that means you can refile them and we can
Unicorn?
readdress them when you file motions in the future addressing any of those items for ensuring witnesses being subpoenaed or appearing for your defense at trial, or for any persons that you may seek to depose. Because as of right now, I don't know who it is that you are seeking to depose based on your own motions. Do you understand the court's ruling as to those three motions, and do you have any questions, or do you want to add anything?
I would like to add, please.
Sure.
I would like to add, please.
Your delegated due date of July 22nd.
You were.
For all my pretrial.
Did you play hacky sack?
I have yet to receive my discovery, so I was trying to beat that deadline or at least meet it. So I didn't know.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm supposed to ask for, or who I'm supposed to ask for, and again, I have yet to receive my discovery, so I don't even know who it is I need.
Wow.
So
Good for you.
I understand for those, so you're telling me at a later date, once I have that information, to revise them.
I'm giving you the opportunity to refile them. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
How about fish?
With regard to the defendant's
Hey, Miss
motion
Shan.
for reservation of proposed costs to
Thanks for joining.
hang on. With regard to defendant's motion for reservation of proposed costs to acquire expert witnesses.
Got it. It's more of a
for
guy's
defendant's
thing anyway,
defense
the
at
hacky
trial,
sack, but
dated July 18,
it was athletic.
2024, and
I
received
didn't play
July
it either,
29,
obviously.
2024. Mr. Lake, anything else to add other than what
It was
is
high heels and
identified
fishnets. I
in your
couldn't.
response?
No, Your Honor, again, the issue here is, with the exception of the mental health expert that's already been approved, there would need to be much more specific motions for these costs. Ms. Boone needs to include essentially what we included in our response. And again, the model motions that we will be sending to will have that information. Without specific information, neither us nor the court can make an informed decision on whether the requests are appropriate.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yeah, Miss
the
Snooty.
motion fails to identify any specifics. It has to be determined for your expert witness or witnesses. It does not identify the type of the witnesses. It doesn't identify the amounts.
Yeah.
And it's
Seriously.
difficult for me to identify the particular showing of need, which is what's required for the appointment of that expert. So again, I'm going to give you the opportunity to refile in the future a motion pertaining to any specific experts, identifying the specificity that JACS has requested in their response. So at this point in time, that motion is denied without prejudice, and you'll have the opportunity to refile it. Lastly is the defendant's motion requesting immediate relief
I don't know
to
how
the
she does it,
defendant
Jill.
by appointing
That
effective
hair
standby
does not
counsel
move.
to
I don't
aid
get
in
it.
support and preparation of a criminal case for trial.
Hey, Olive Oil.
Dated July 18, 2024.
Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Received July 29, 2024.
Thanks for
The
joining.
request, ma'am, that you were seeking in that motion is to provide immediate relief to defendant by appointing effective standby.
I feel so robbed that we didn't get to see the actual hearing where he tells her no more counsel for you, and they had to pull her out. Look at her face. What's going on here?
evidence digitally, I need to contact someone at the jail.
No, ma'am. The evidence that were in the 2 bankers box that Mr. Lane digitized for you is going to be provided to the jail.
I don't know, Tanika. That's a good
question.
question.
And that's available to you from 8 a.m. to 4
Yeah,
p.m.
they
every
dragged
day
her away. No.
in the protocol that I read to you at our last hearing.
Yes, and I will speak to the captain just to be aware that everyone that it is in the process, because I do not feel comfortable with any of this, and I do not feel protected either by the courts or the jail system. So for right now, I don't know if it can be postponed or if it's something that I need to write another letter to. Everything takes longer in jail. So
Don't write another letter, please.
Get a hold of the captain nonetheless. It's going to be a feat in itself. So I
We were
want
robbed.
you to know if anything that I
What about
am
our
trying to
constitutional
reach out
rights?
to the captain. I don't know if she'll be here today or if it'll be the contact person. So the process, I am working on speaking to the captain because I do not feel, like I said, that I am protected in any way, shape, or form by the Orange County Corrections Department withholding my evidence in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. The court's going to follow the procedure as I outlined at the last hearing.
Shit's going the way he says.
So here's what we will
Hey,
do.
Margarita.
We will, on Thursday, September the 3rd at 9 a.m. we'll
Oh,
have a hearing
yeah.
to review
What?
physical evidence. At that
That's
time,
the
state will
Cashman.
provide
We'll watch
its
that after
exhibit
this,
list,
Tanika.
which will be filed with the court at that time, and a copy will
Please,
be
to
given
be
to
nice
Ms.
to
Boone
me.
of the physical and the digital evidence they are seeking to admit. After we have the in-court examination of the physical evidence, that afternoon, there will be a meeting at the Orange County Jail between the state, its investigator, Mr. Lane, Ms. Boone, to review the digital evidence and provide
Paul Hicks looks like a lot of
USB
people.
drive with those,
I
that
agree, he looks
information.
familiar.
You can caveat in that order.
When he was young, he looked familiar too, actually more so.
In case we do it ahead of September.
Sure, if you want to do it before, the deadline to do it will be to September 3rd.
Yes, it was in
But
chambers.
The in-court physical examination will be at September 3rd. So if you all want to meet in advance of that, I won't prohibit that. Just file something in the court file identifying a notice or some document so that it identifies when that meeting took place, when the evidence viewing took place.
Hi, Charles Grieve.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
It is the best thing.
Ma'am,
She won in a
after
different
we
way.
had this hearing on September 3, and that being the deadline
Cashman
for
was the
the
best. She
digital
was like,
evidence
"Fuck
and
you."
the viewing of the physical evidence.
How's that?
The court would then like to set a deadline for when you would provide
And her
your
brother
objections
liked Cashman,
to
too.
the state's exhibits. Mindful that this will take place on September 3 and that we have pretrial set for September 26th, and if we need to have a hearing with regard to those
CJ.
objections, my thoughts would be to give you 2 weeks until the 17th to lodge your objections. And those would need to be provided in writing by the 17th. So that if there are objections and if we need to have a hearing on them, that hearing can be held when we have our pretrial on the 26th. That would give the state ample opportunity
All right,
to
good
prepare
for you, Pope.
for any of the objections that you have.
And hi.
Forgive me, and thank you for your patience, everyone. So on September 3rd,
Is it loud
I will
enough?
be reviewing the digital and physical evidence here in the courtroom.
Hey, Super Kelly.
And then later that
Thanks for joining.
I will be meeting with the state and my investigator.
If they don't meet with you prior to that date. The deadline for the state's investigator, your investigator and yourself, to meet to review the digital evidence would be no later than the close of business on September 3. I've outlined for when I would like it done, but if the state wants to meet you in advance of that date, they can do so.
Yes, please.
I'm here. I'm just
Please, what is your
getting
name,
up for a
sir?
second.
William J.
Could you spell your last name, please?
J-A-Y. Don't get asked that a lot.
And what is your affiliation with the state?
I'm a homicide unit chief.
Yes, please. And I am okay if you would like to meet prior, so less time is consumed on the day of our meeting, supposedly on the 3rd.
So I assume you have availability. Should I meet with Mr. Lane to discuss his availability so we can get out there this month?
Yes.
Then you can do that, and like I said, Mr. J, if you could file that notice, just identifying when, that would be most appreciative. So ma'am, understanding where we are with the viewing, what is September 17th for the deadline for your objections acceptable to you?
Yes, and if I may please raise the point that I have a motion here in regards to, well, I'm in the process of working on it for the laptop. I do not have my discovery as of yet, and I do not have a laptop as of yet. I do not know what hiccups may be involved. There's a lot of hiccups with the jail already. So I'm trying to figure out when and where I'll be able to view anything. So there's a great restriction also that is being put on the laptop usage from 8 to 4. I'm unable to utilize my time to the full extent. Also, I have a motion here to receive my hard copy evidence because when the laptops are in quote, the laptop is in quote, closed for the day at 4 p.m., I can therefore pick up using a hard copy evidence.
I haven't had the opportunity to review the motions that you're speaking of, neither has the state. We'll address them today. I don't have a problem doing that. I'm just not going to do it right this second because I haven't had the opportunity to review them yet.
Yes, and I'm just explaining myself in the meantime, please, so you're aware of what I have already thought of and am trying to ease the pain of everyone with me trying to figure out how to do everything and when and do it appropriately. But I just wanted you to know that by bringing that topic up, I have that.
Meow.
Also be looked over.
Pro se, because everything ends with Sarah over here
917,
with the sexy people.
if that has to be changed, then
It just
I
happens
can
that
do
way.
I'm trying to set deadlines now, ma'am. And that would give you 2 weeks to review the physical evidence. You'll be provided the digital evidence, it seems, in advance of that September 3rd deadline.
Me too, super.
And that may give you more than 2 weeks to review and lodge any objections.
This is just for the evidence?
Correct.
Her precious
This
dollar
is
instead of
only addressing any
money.
objections to the evidence that the state seeks to admit.
The digital discovery, is any of that included in that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was the hearing, the nail in the coffin, the hearing with Cashman that Tanika was just, that we're going to watch
Well, we're
next.
setting them today.
I understand.
Do you?
So the 3rd is a what day? Thursday?
Tuesday. So the 17th would be 2 weeks later, Tuesday the 17th.
And that is me coming with my objection.
That would be you filing your objections in writing with the court.
It did have the sidebars, Luthros. Well, the sidebars are a
And
separate
to the extent
transcript.
we would need to have a hearing on those objections, we would have them when
And
the
high.
pretrial or trial case management conference is set at 9 a.m. the following Thursday, the 26th of September.
I'm sorry, what is on the 26th?
That's when we're having our pretrial or trial case management to address any last minute issues regarding trial.
Forgive me. So
Oh,
today
Super
being
Kelly. Doggies.
August 5th, I'm supposed to expeditiously complete my case that in every way, shape, and form by September 26th in order to go to trial for October 7th.
The dates are what the dates are. September 26th is the trial case management date, and October 7th is the trial date.
So by me not even seeing my discovery yet 2 days, and only being
I love
able
this.
to the laptop from 8 to 4 and not having my hard copy evidence,
You have 62 days to prepare for trial, not including today. And you're going to get your discovery today.
wow. So in over 4 years, it comes down to me representing myself in 62 days.
I'm not going to answer that question.
And I said, this is
What now we're addressing, ma'am, is September 17th,
right.
the deadline, which is 2 weeks after having the physical view of any of the physical evidence. It sounds like Mr. J is going to try to meet with you pretty promptly regarding the digital evidence. So you'll have plenty of time to review that in 2 weeks at a minimum, or 2 weeks at most rather, to lodge any objections to the physical evidence.
I understand. I just don't understand how to file objection.
Well,
I cannot
pro
answer
se,
that
it's
for
time
you.
for you
That
to
would be me providing you legal
find
advice,
someone else, obviously.
which I'm prohibited from doing. All I can tell you is that if you have objections to
He had a good
any
one,
of the
you know?
exhibits that the state may seek to move into evidence, you will have to lodge those objections by the close of business on September 17th. And those objections will have to be in writing. If we have to have a hearing on those objections, that hearing will be held on September 26th.
Okay, and if I may ask, are these being delegated or I'm being incorporated in this in order for me to be able to say yay or nay?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean delegated?
Are you delegating to me as you delegated everything else in regards to taking my counsel? and all
Yeah,
of
it
the
does
work?
look blurry.
You are representing
The
yourself
court
for
reporters.
the reasons that the court
Chair, but I
identified
think it's
in
just,
its 16-page
you know, the
order.
low quality of the
It
video.
is your responsibility, as you are
Colors.
representing yourself and proceeding pro se, to comply with the court's orders and deadlines. So if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to offer into evidence, be it digital or physical, based on your review of those, the deadline to submit those in writing would be on September 17th.
Okay, so you're making statements, so I don't have any say in it.
I've asked you.
This is
what
the
your
only
thoughts
time I
would
saw
be
him get,
as to when. You
like-
never provided me you will have to lodge those objections by the close of business on September 17th. And those objections will have to be in writing. If we have to have a hearing on those objections, that hearing will be held on September 26th.
Okay. And
she
if
was
I
just
may
herself, meow pro se client.
ask,
That's all she did.
are these being delegated or I'm being incorporated in this in order for me to be able to say yay or nay?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean delegated?
Are you delegating to me as you've delegated everything else in regards to taking my counsel and all of your orders?
You are representing yourself for the reasons that the court identified in its 16-page order. It is your responsibility, as you are representing yourself and proceeding pro se, to comply with the court's orders and deadlines. So if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to offer into evidence, be it digital or physical, based on your review of those, the deadline to submit those in writing would be on September 17th.
Okay, so you're making statements, so I don't have any say in it.
I've asked you what your thoughts would be as to when. You've never provided me in a disagreement with with regard to that date.
Hey, Jackie.
You've asked questions about your motions that I haven't seen yet. Your desire to have hard copies, which we addressed at the last hearing, but I'll be glad to address it again today. You have yet to tell me that that date's unacceptable for you, and if so, why?
I wouldn't necessarily say unacceptable, I'm just uncomfortable with agreeing to a date when I am pro se and have never been pro se before and do not know what I'm doing. So I just want to make sure that I do it correctly and have an understanding also if you are proposing that I go to trial within 62 days that I know what I'm going into and what I may expect. So I didn't know if this would just be easier on everyone else if they just delegated the dates and gave me a printed copy with your order and whatever information you have. I don't know. I don't know either if you all are just proposing that because I'm incarcerated, just the dates are what you tell me. I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
As I go, which is why I'm grateful for everyone's patience, but at the same time, though, for me
Absolutely,
to
seriously.
accept this date and then not be able to meet it, what happens when that happens, if it should happen?
I can't answer that question. Again, that would be me providing you legal advice as to what to do if something happens. I simply cannot answer that question. I'm not allowed to.
Okay. Well, I'm with the court, so whatever it is that you all are trying to do in order to expedite this even more than what it's being expedited,
Hey, pretend judge.
I'm guessing I agree with September 17th.
Okay, all right. Now, ma'am, I believe that takes care of all of the
Yeah, she's so
deadlines
pissed.
with regard to the state's exhibits. Now I want to address deadlines for any exhibits or witnesses that you may be seeking. I am mindful that you will be receiving
All right,
discovery
Skyflash,
today,
that's fun. I did that yesterday,
and
briefly.
that you have not had the
Glad you're
opportunity
here.
to review some of the items that may be in.
Jackie, I watched
the
it when I
discovery.
went to sleep last night.
So how much time
glad you're
would
here,
you
too.
like to provide to the court the list of exhibits that you may be seeking to enter and the list of witnesses that you may be seeking to have testify in a defense should you choose
Yeah,
to put
she's
one
very
on?
busy, Deb. She doesn't have a lot of time to do all the things she has to do, foremost.
Please understand that I do not have access to a normal phone. I don't have access to a normal phone at normal hours. So I am trying to overcome the hurdle of trying to, number one, locate
Flash.
the
Yeah,
witnesses,
it happens.
and then also try to communicate with them on a payphone only telephone call that I do not have regular access to, and that are limited to only 15 minutes that I have to share with 62 other inmates. That is a hurdle, please, that I need for you to please take into consideration in order for me to be able to try to determine my witnesses, to determine any expert witnesses. May I ask, please, does the laptop have internet access?
I'm unaware. I'm unaware if it does.
To view any documents?
I'm unaware. I can't answer the question that I don't have an answer to. I'm unaware if it has internet access.
Who is it that I need to speak to in order for this?
Yeah, Jackie, and I'm
We
really
may
surprised
be
that he
able to
doesn't.
inquire of the jail representative who is appearing for the hearing this morning, and if not,
What a mess. These people are.
the captain may be able to provide that information, but I do not know if it has internet access.
May I ask your contact names from the jail?
Give us 1 second.
Please, and also.
Ugh, I hate her.
The court's error of sending my information that you're referencing to the incorrect address. Could you please provide me a copy of that also?
What is it that you're asked? The protocol, ma'am? That was what was most recently sent.
I don't know. Whatever it is, the last thing that I received from you in the court was the hand delivery of the order regarding USB.
I have a copy that Madam Clerk's already printed out of the protocol. We will have the deputy hand deliver that to you right after. What did I do?
Yeah, it's very hard to find beauty in
Oh, I
this
sent it to
face.
Anita. That's why.
Yeah,
Give
per
me a
se.
second.
Very
I'll have
hard.
Madam Clerk
Also because of
print
all
that
the
out for you right
ugly
now, ma'am.
that's emanating from within.
So, understanding that as of right now, you do not have hard copies, you'll be provided digital copies, and to review all this evidence, ma'am, when in time do you feel comfortable in providing the court and the state the list of your witnesses and your exhibits that you may be seeking to introduce?
I'm going to go with 2
Yeah, Jackie.
because I just explained also, please, that I do not have access to a regular phone. I need to locate anyone. I need to do research. I don't know if I have internet access to anyone. I don't have a phone book. There's no way that I know how to do any of this without essentials and fundamental equipment in order for me to be able to provide you with those answers. I cannot promise anything because I
Yeah,
do
and
not
her ugly
know
word and mouth
how
and
I
everything
will
that comes
do
out of
any
it.
of that at this moment. I would like please to propose your understanding of a meeting that I would like to have with the captain so I can see if I can have access to a regular phone, if I can have access to an internet. Right now I have a tablet that is used for text messaging and movies and the law library that I utilize. I don't have access to the phone, I don't have access to the internet.
You can certainly have those conversations with the jail representatives. But ma'am, we were on notice today to address those deadlines, and I cannot set a to-be-determined deadline at this time. I understand that there's been some delays with regard to the discovery. As I told you at the last hearing, we're moving as expeditiously as possible to get you that, and it took some time for that process to be created. That process is going to start today. Mr. Lane's here. Representative from the Orange County Jail will be here. That handoff will take place. You'll have access to that laptop with all the information today.
If the defendant's not going to make a suggestion, may the state?
Sure.
My suggestion would be to give her 14 days after the point that the specific evidence identified by the state to be used at trial is provided to her. So, for example, the physical evidence, which we plan on giving her the list of those physical items well in advance of September 3rd. That will just be the date that she can actually see them. But my suggestion for those physical evidence items would be September 17th, and then 14 or 15 days after whichever day we get the
You mean the appeal, dead of night?
digital evidence items.
She hasn't even heard from her appeal attorney yet.
Our suggestion.
Okay. Ma'am, are you amenable to that? That would 14 days after you've had the opportunity to review the digital evidence, and 14 days after you've reviewed the physical evidence to provide your exhibit lists.
I love Judge Koenig too, Mallory.
I don't feel comfortable.
She's the best. No one has anything nasty to say, except for her, of course.
I don't have the same opportunities as the state or any attorney.
I like how she's explaining it to
So
him.
I feel that you all are pressuring me and forcing me into these dates which I may not be able to meet or exceed.
Can I add that obviously either side, if there's good cause for why a deadline wasn't met, if something comes up,
Look at her face.
then we're not prohibited either side from complying with the rules of discovery afterwards. But there would just need to be a cause shown at that point.
Do you understand that, ma'am?
I do.
That I'm setting these dates for now, and if either party can establish good cause why these dates should be moved.
Yes, and that is why I'm trying to make everyone aware prior to all of this to understand my circumstances
perfect.
by being incarcerated and not having
Her worst
access to
nightmare.
them, not having access to the internet, and not having access to many more other, like I said, basics, fundamental basics, which is why I'm making you all aware now, so you are aware that when the time comes, should it, why for good cause, I'm stating my good cause is now, if not there are additional at that time.
She can,
Ma'am, as of right now,
don't be
the court
worried,
is inclined to
Skyflash.
agree with
Nothing's
the
going to
state's
work, I don't
suggestion
think. I mean, it's
that
ridiculous.
14 days after viewing the digital evidence, which will take place no later than September 3rd, sounds like it'll take place way in advance of
Yeah,
that.
it's
You were to
fucking
provide in
ridiculous.
writing your list of exhibits that you want to attempt to move into evidence. 14 days after viewing the physical evidence on September 3rd,
Me too.
you are to provide
This is
in
forever.
writing the list of any
And the hair,
exhibits
obviously.
that may be physical that you intend to enter into evidence. Those dates can be extended for good cause that may be shown. State, would you like the opportunity to review?
She has not had enough time, Tanika.
Those exhibits, similar to an evidence
If you don't
viewing that
mind,
we're having
please.
with Ms. Boone
Okay.
reviewing the state's exhibits, would you like a similar opportunity to review any of her exhibits?
If the defense has any physical evidence to place in evidence, I can make those arrangements with Ms. Coleman.
Okay, all right. I will set a deadline
seriously,
for
can you believe
the
it?
review
Or
of
cigarettes.
September 26th.
I'm sure it has cigarettes.
Is the review that you're speaking of, please, for my exhibits and witness list?
That is correct.
Yeah,
I would also
definitely.
propose a similar date of September 17th for any of the witness lists for the defense. And Mr. J, would you be in a position by the 1st of September to provide any witness
would have.
lists for the state?
And you know what, Tanika? I wish
She should
she
have a
did.
witness list in the
And I hope she
discovery that's
does.
being provided. As far as the order and the list of witnesses that we're going to call at trial, we will get in that ahead of
Hey,
time.
Deborah Rockhill.
Okay, all right, so the deadline for the state's production of the witness list
Thanks
will be
for joining.
September 3, no later than, and September 17th for Ms. Boone. Ma'am, similar to the objections to any discovery, that'll have to be in writing as to who it is that you may be calling as a defense witness. And you'll have to provide that to the court in writing by September 17th.
Yes. And if I may ask, please, what you're typing, is that for an order or for today?
You texting about
It
me?
is for an order, which you will be given a copy of. It may not be able to be hand-delivered to you, ma'am, because I'm going to have to move some stuff around based on my scratch notes here, but at a minimum, it would be mailed to the your proper address. Due to that clerical error, that will not be an issue.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, I think that addresses all the issues with regard to production and hearings on any objections. Anything else from the state that you believe we need to address from a scheduling concept.
We have both of our Debs here.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions with regard to the scheduling concepts or deadlines that we've addressed this morning?
Other than what I have made known to the court, I do not.
Okay. Bruce, can you see if Mr. Sergeant Casey's here? He is here?
Your Honor.
All right, very good. Sir, could you come on up, please? Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in. You can stay to the podium,
Oh,
sir.
yes, Jackie.
No, just the podium, Sergeant.
Oh, sorry.
If you could raise your right hand, Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in.
Like that.
All right, sir, good morning. Could you state your name for the record?
Sergeant Donald Casey.
And what's your position at the
Are you
Orange
writing
County
notes
Jail?
about me? What's the
And
texting?
what
Are
your
you
duties
guys,
and
you're making me nervous.
responsibilities,
Are you texting about me?
I'm over transportation, downtown port holding, BRC ports, medical security, and the juvenile assessment center.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
Sky
you aware of
flashed.
the protocol,
Yeah, and you know,
that Captain
Owens called that hurricane an divine intervention.
DiGiovanni created with regard to Ms. Boone's use of the laptop?
Potential deadly hurricane.
Have you had the opportunity to review that protocol?
I have.
Okay. Mr. Lane, can you come on up here, please, sir?
I agree, Sky flashed. Although, when she was transferred to prison, I believe they present her with the things that she was arrested with, like her gorgeous tote bag and whatever was jangling around in it. And I think they give them a choice. I recently read this somewhere, to donate it or throw it away. I'm sure she said throw it away because... So maybe she saw her cigarettes.
Trying to figure out when and where I'll be able to view anything. So there's a great restriction also that is being put on the laptop usage from 8 to 4.
Yes, ma'am,
I'm
really,
unable
she
to
sure
utilize
was.
my time to the full extent. Also, I have a motion here to receive my hard copy evidence because when the laptops are in quotes, the laptop is in quotes, closed for the day at 4 p.m.
Well,
I can therefore
yeah,
pick
per
up
se. In
the
Denmark,
hard copy
people don't
I
act
haven't
like
had the
animals like they do
opportunity
here.
to review the
So
motions that you're speaking of. Neither has the state.
Even in
we'll
prison.
address them today. I don't have a problem doing that. I'm just not going to do it right this second because I haven't had the opportunity to review them yet.
Yes, and I'm just explaining myself in the meantime, please, so you are aware of what I have already thought of.
Disney
and
mom,
trying
that's a
to,
good son.
ease the pain of everyone with me trying to figure out how to do everything and when and do it appropriately. But I just wanted you to know that by bringing that topic up, I have that to also be looked over.
Okay.
Please. 917, if that has to be changed,
I agree,
then
Bloodbath.
I okay to do that?
I'm trying to set
100%.
deadlines now, ma'am. And that would give you 2
Thanks to
weeks
you
to
and all
review
like you.
the physical evidence. You'll be provided the digital evidence, it seems, in advance of that September 3rd deadline. And that may give you more than 2 weeks to review and lodge any objections.
Tote bag, handbag came with a subscription to
Correct.
Birds
This
and
is only
Blooms.
addressing
I
any
mean,
objections to the evidence that the state seeks to admit.
The digital discovery, is any of that included in that?
Yes.
Okay.
there's nothing wrong. There'd be something wrong with you if you didn't want Domino's
But we're setting them today,
I understand.
or some kind of pizza.
So the 3rd is a what day? Thursday?
Tuesday. So the 17th would be 2 weeks later, Tuesday the 17th.
And that is me coming with my objection.
That would be you filing your objections in writing with the court.
Idiot.
And to the extent we would need to have a hearing on those objections, we would have them when the pretrial or trial case management conference is set at 9 a.m. the following Thursday, the 26th of September.
I'm sorry, what is on the 26th?
That's when we're having our pretrial or trial case management to address any last minute issues regarding trial.
Look how European you are, Bloodbath.
Forgive me. So today being August 5th, I'm supposed to expeditiously complete my case that in every way, shape, and form by September 26th.
She hits all the greatest hits in this one.
October 7th.
The dates are what the dates are. September 26th is the trial case management date, and October 7th is the trial date.
So by me not even seeing my discovery yet 2 days, and only being restricted to a laptop from 8 to 4, and not having my hard copy evidence.
You have 62 days to prepare for trial, not including today. And you're going to get your discovery today.
You've wasted plenty of time and you've seen your discovery a million times.
In over 4 years, it comes down to me representing myself in 62 days.
I'm not going to answer that question.
And I said, this,
What now we're addressing, ma'am, is September 17th,
right.
the deadline, which is 2 weeks after having the physical view of any of the physical evidence. It sounds like Mr. J is going to try to meet with you pretty promptly regarding the digital evidence. So you'll have plenty of time to review that in 2 weeks at a minimum, or 2 weeks at most rather, to lodge any objections to the physical evidence.
I understand. I just don't understand how to file objections.
I understand.
cannot
I just
answer
don't
that for you.
understand.
That would be me providing you legal advice, which I'm prohibited from doing. All I can tell you is that if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may seek to move into
How
evidence,
embarrassing was that whole phone call?
you will have to
My
lodge
God.
those objections by the close of business on September 17th. And those objections will have to be in writing. If we have to have a hearing on those objections, that hearing will be held on September 26th.
Okay. And if I may ask, are these being delegated or I'm being incorporated in this in order for me to be able to say yay or nay?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean delegated?
Are you delegating to me as you've delegated everything else in regards to taking my counsel and all of your orders?
You are representing yourself for the reasons that the court identified in its 16-page order. It is your responsibility, as you are representing yourself and proceeding pro se, to comply with the court's orders and deadlines. So if you have objections to any of the exhibits that the state may be seeking to offer into evidence, be it digital or physical, based on your review of those, the deadline to submit those in writing would be on September 17th.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making
Baby
statements,
boys.
so I don't have any say in it.
I've asked you what your thoughts would be as to when.
I rewound all the way to this.
You never provided
We've
me
been rewatching
a-
I don't even
a
know.
disagreement with regard to that date as of yet. You've asked questions about your motions that I haven't seen yet. Your desire to have hard copies, which we addressed at the last hearing, but I'll be glad to address it again today.
She's never nervous, really.
You have yet
Deborah
to
Rockhill.
tell me that that date's
You know?
unacceptable for you, and if so, why?
I wouldn't necessarily say unacceptable, I'm just uncomfortable with agreeing to a date when I am pro se and have never been pro se before and do not know what I'm doing. So I just want to
Me
make
too,
sure that I
Mallory.
do it correctly and have an understanding also if you are proposing that I go to trial within 62 days, that I know what I'm going into and what I may expect. So I didn't know if this would just be easier on everyone else if they just delegated the dates and gave me a printed copy.
Because, you know, Sarah, if nothing else, she's puts first and foremost what's easier for everyone else, no? I mean, I think we've learned that about her.
If you're ordering whatever information you have, I don't know. I don't know either if you all are just proposing that because I'm incarcerated, just the dates are what you tell me.
Shut up!
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
He is, Megan.
I do not know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to learn as I go, which is why I'm grateful for everyone's patience. But at the same time, though, for me to accept this date and then not be able to meet it, what happens when that happens?
You know, Charles, I think he just meets, I think he just gets himself into like a Zen state.
If something happens, I simply cannot answer that question. I'm not allowed to.
Right, Dandy.
Well, I'm with the court, so whatever it is that you all are trying to do in order to expedite this even more than what it's being expedited.
Oh, I'm sorry that your kids have thrown up.
September 7th.
This is for everyone.
Now, ma'am,
There's always
I believe
adoption.
that takes care of all of the
I'm sorry, I hope they have the flu.
deadlines with regard to the state's exhibits. Now I want to address deadlines for any exhibits or witnesses that you may be
Right,
seeking.
Patty. She just wants to
I am
put off,
mindful
put
that
off.
you will be receiving the discovery today, and that you have not had the opportunity to review some of the items that may be in the discovery. So how much time would you like to provide to the court the list of exhibits that you may be seeking to enter and the list of witnesses that you may be seeking to have testify in a defense should you choose to put one on?
Oh, that sucks forever. I hope it's
Please understand that I do not have access
moves
to a normal
through them
phone.
quickly.
I don't have access to a normal phone at normal hours. So I am trying to overcome the hurdle of trying to, number one, locate any of my witnesses, and then also try to communicate with them on a payphone only telephone call that I do not have regular access to, and that are limited to only 15 minutes.
Yeah, Carolina,
that I
my
share with
best
two
friend was
other
married to a Cuban
inmates.
fella.
That is a hurdle, please,
Keyword
that I need
was.
you to please take into consideration in order for me to be able to try to determine my witnesses, to determine any expert witnesses. May I ask, please, does the laptop have internet access?
I'm unaware. I'm unaware if it does.
To view any documents?
Well, if it's a stomach bug, don't do anything drastic yet as far as adoption is concerned. But I'm just saying, always keep it in the back of your mind, you know?
Speak to in order for this.
We may be able to inquire of the jail representative who is appearing for the hearing this morning, and if not, the captain may be able to provide that information, but I do not know if it has internet.
Sarah has a dad bod because
May I ask your contact names from the jail?
I don't know why. That's a good
Give us
question.
1 second.
Maybe she looks like, more like her dad from the neck down.
Court error of sending my information that you're referencing to the incorrect address. Could you please provide me a copy of that also?
What is it that you're asked? The protocol, ma'am? That was what was most recently sent.
I don't know. Whatever it is, the last thing that I received from you in the court was the hand delivery of the order regarding USB.
I have a copy that Madam Clerk's already printed out of the protocol. We will have the deputy hand deliver that to you right after.
Yes, Jackie.
Oh, I sent it to Anita.
She does.
That's fine.
Look like one of
Give me a
those
second. I'll have Madam
cycling
Clerk
helmets
print
that comes
out
to
for
a
you right now.
point at the back for aerodynamics. Yeah.
So, understanding that as of right now, you do not have hard copies, you'll be provided digital copies, and to review all this evidence, ma'am, when in time do you feel comfortable in providing the court and the state the list of your witnesses and your exhibits that you may be seeking to introduce?
I'm going to go with to be determined.
Bloodbath,
because
are you
I
eating
just want to
candy,
also please
by the way?
that I do not have access to a regular phone. I need to locate
There's some competition
anyone
here, I
and
see.
do research. I don't know if I have internet access to anyone. I don't have a phone book. There's no way that I know how to do any of this without essentials and fundamental equipment in order for me to be able to provide you with those answers. I cannot promise anything because I do not know how I will be able to do any of that at this moment. I would like please
Yeah.
to
She didn't get fat.
your
She won in a
understanding
different
of,
way, pretend judge.
that I would like to have with the captain, so I can see if I can.
Baby duck fur. It's a baby duck
I
undercoat
can have access to an internet.
that somehow
I have a tablet that
has
is
positioned
for
itself into a helmet of sorts.
and
It's
moving
bizarre.
in the law library that I utilize. I don't have access to the phone. I don't have access to the internet.
You can certainly have those conversations
Oh,
with
nerds
the
or
jail
the new gummy
representatives.
nerds?
But ma'am, we were on notice
Love
today
that.
to address those deadlines, and
I
I
really
cannot set a
respect
to be
your
determined
devotion to
deadline
milk
at this
duds.
time. I understand that there's been some delays with regard to the discovery. As I told you at the last hearing, we're moving as expeditiously as possible to get you that, and it took some time for that process to be created. That process is going to start today, Mr. Lane's here. Representative from the Orange
Yeah,
County
Charles,
Jail will be here.
she just
That handoff will take place.
had
You'll have
evidence that
access
was
to
going to be
laptop
used
with all the
against
information today.
her victim to show that she was the
The
victim.
defendant's not going to make a suggestion, maybe state?
Sure.
My suggestion would be to give her 14 days after the point that the specific evidence identified by the state to be used at trial is provided to her. So, for example, the physical evidence, which we plan on giving her the list of those physical items well in advance of September 3rd. That will just be the date that she can actually see them. But my suggestion for those physical evidence items would be September 17th, and then 14 or 15 days after whichever day we get the specific list of digital evidence items to her, would be our suggestion.
Okay. Ma'am, are you amenable to that? That would 14 days after you've had the opportunity to review the digital evidence and 14 days after you've reviewed the physical evidence to provide your exhibit lists.
I don't feel comfortable with any of this. I don't have the same opportunities as the state or any attorneys prior. So I feel that you all are pressuring me and forcing me into these dates, which I may not be able to do.
She's amazing.
Can I add that obviously either side, if there's good cause for why a deadline wasn't met, if something comes up, then we're not prohibited either side from.
Well, you've made a good sound choice there,
Bloodbath. Discovery afterwards, but there would just need to be a cause shown at that point.
I haven't done much
Do you
better
understand
myself
that, ma'am?
today.
I do.
That I'm setting these dates for now, and if either party can establish good cause why these dates should be moved.
Yes, and that is why I'm trying to make everyone aware prior to all of this to understand my circumstances by being incarcerated and not having access
Yes,
to the
Patty.
phone, not having access
Constant
to the
big word
internet,
salad.
and not having access to many more other, like I said, basics, fundamental basics, which is why I'm making you all aware now, so you are aware that when the time comes, should it
Zero accountability. As if he just out of pure spite took away her counsel, her 8th counsel.
why for good cause, I'm stating my good cause is now, if not there are additional at that time.
She's the fucking worst. I hate her.
Ma'am, as of right now, the court is inclined to agree with the state's suggestion that 14 days after viewing the digital evidence, which will take place no later than September 3rd, sounds like it'll take place way in advance of that, you are to provide in writing your list of exhibits that you want to
me too, Patty.
attempt to move into evidence. 14 days after viewing the physical evidence on September 3rd, you are to provide in writing the list of any exhibits that may be physical that you intend to enter into evidence. Those dates can be extended for.
She doesn't want to go to law school. She doesn't want to do anything.
Shown. State, would you like the opportunity to review those exhibits similar to an evidence viewing that we're having with Ms. Boone reviewing the state's exhibits? Would you like a similar opportunity to review any of her exhibits?
If the defense has any physical evidence to place in evidence, I can make those arrangements with Ms. Boone.
Okay, all right. I will set a deadline for the review.
So what we're going to do, I know Tanika and I were just talking about doing the Cashman hearing after this, but I only have like 10 minutes, so we'll watch this for another 10 minutes. I'm going to immediately set up another live for tonight. So we can watch Cashman, and if the time doesn't work, Tanika, let me know. I'm flexible. I'll be home in a few hours.
Of September 26th.
Constant big words that don't exist. No maliciousness, because that's not a word.
That is correct.
Yeah. No. Even the words that are words don't sound like words coming out of her mouth.
I would also propose a similar date of September 17th for any of the witness lists for the defense. And Mr. J, would you be in a position by the 1st of September to provide any witness lists for the state?
Don't worry, I'll have the fire going.
She should have the witness list in the discovery that's being provided. As far as the order and the list of witnesses that we're going to call at trial, we will get in that ahead of 9/3.
Okay, all right. So the deadline for the state's production of the witness list will be September 3, no later than.
Oh, Meowky.
and September 17th for Ms. Boone. Ma'am, similar to the objections to any discovery, that'll have to be in writing as to who it is that you may be calling as a defense witness. And you'll have to provide that to the court in writing by September 17th.
You're welcome.
Yes. And if I may ask, please, what you're typing, is that for an order or?
Maybe I'll play Fire on the Mountain.
It is for an order, which you will be given a copy of. It may not be able to be hand-delivered
Good
to
night,
you,
Meow
ma'am, because I'll
Say.
have to move some stuff around based on my scratch notes here, but at a minimum, it would be mailed to the
client,
your proper address. Due to that clerical error, that will not be an issue.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, I think that addresses all the issues with regard to production and hearings on any objections. Anything else from the state that you believe we need to address from a scheduling concept?
We're good with the scheduling concepts. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ma'am, do you have any questions with regard to the scheduling concepts or deadlines that we've addressed this morning?
Other than what I have made known to the court, I do not.
Okay. Bruce, can you see if Mr. Sergeant Casey's here? He is here?
Your Honor.
All right, very good. Sir, could you come on up, please? Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in. You can stay to the podium, sir. No, just the podium, Sergeant.
What's happening?
If you could raise your right hand, Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in.
Oh, this is the guy that we saw before that
All
I
right, sir,
forgot
good
now.
morning. Could you state your name for the record?
Sergeant Donald Casey.
And what's your position at the Orange County Jail?
Sergeant.
And what are your duties and responsibilities, sir?
I'm over transportation, downtown port holding, BRC ports, medical security, and the juvenile.
Yeah, I agree, Cameron. Yeah,
Are you
Rita.
aware of
the
the
whole thing
protocol
really makes me like
that
nauseous.
Captain DiGiovanni created with regard to Ms. Boone's use of the laptop? Okay, all right.
Bullshit.
Have you had the opportunity to review that protocol? Okay. Mr. Lane, can you come on up here, please, sir?
Damn D. Story of my life. Although I would have spelled both wrong. Yeah, asked what he's typing.
Sir, good morning. Could you raise your right hand? Madam Clerk's going to swear you in.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you should give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, sir, good morning. Could you state your name for the record for me?
Billy Lane.
And what's your affiliation with Prison Break Investigations?
I'm the owner and chief investigator.
All right, sir, last time I saw you, I had tasked you with digitizing 2 banker's boxes of information, and you said that you would endeavor to accomplish that task by today, understanding that you were out of town for your son's wedding. I hope you had a great time. Were you able to fulfill that task, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many jump drives or drives do you have?
Of the digitized information, there's one of those. This drive here is a copy of all digital discovery that I have in my possession from this boot for the court's needs if they wish to facilitate that through the, figure it'd be easier to facilitate it now through the jail than me trying to bring it in myself.
That's exactly my thought. So you've shown to me, sir, a small thumb-sized USB jump drive. That USB jump drive is the information that was contained in the 2 banker's boxes, correct? And the other jump drive that was the larger of the 2, that jump drive is any digital information that you have had previously by virtue of being the investigator.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, the record's going to reflect that information is going to be hand-delivered by Mr. Lane to Sergeant Casey. So Sergeant Casey, if you could please take custody of those 2 thumb drives. And I'm going to ask you, sir, to comply with the terms of the protocol, to have those added to the laptop and be available for Ms. Boone's use today once she's returned to the Orange County Jail. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Casey?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, thank you very much. If you can proceed with that task, I appreciate you. Thank you. Mr. Lane, you took custody with you, sir, as well. Well, before you leave, Sergeant Casey, state, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions for Sergeant Casey regarding his compliance with the protocols provided to be by the captain of the jail?
Mr. Casey, could you please make known to Captain DiGiovanni that if she has time at some point, as soon as possible, to please sit down with me for about a half an hour to go over quite a few things that I need to have resolved?
I'll inform her.
Please, in regards to the laptop.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Lane, when we were last here, you also had 2 banker's boxes. Did you bring those back with you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you bring those back up?
Yeah, it is her investigator.
I do see it looks like the original exhibit tags are still on the top of those.
That's right, Carolina.
Mr.
Trying
Lane,
to
did
be
you
sexy.
completely copy everything that was in both of those boxes? Okay, I'm gonna have Madam Clerk take possession of what was pre-marked as A and B for the purposes of the June 28th hearing, and we'll hold those into evidence. Do you have any questions, Mr. J, for the investigator with regard to his task?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions with regard to your investigator regarding his completion of the digitization process?
And my only question is, Mr. Lane, do you know when you would be coming to meet with me at the jail?
It's going to be my intent to try to get out there at the end of the week or beginning of next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
One housekeeping thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if Mr. Lane, since he's here, would like me to sign my invoice or have Ms. Boone do it since she's pro se.
I don't feel comfortable signing your invoice. I think Ms. Boone would have to sign it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Is it okay if I?
Hand it to the deputy. Deputy will have her sign it, and then you could take it. Mr. Lake, is that acceptable, sir? Counselor, you're muted.
Yes, that would be acceptable, yeah, if Mr. Lane, and Your Honor, in light of this, maybe it might be more appropriate for the court to go up to $10,000 for the investigator, because it sounds like he's already done a lot of work, so it might make more sense instead of having to come back later.
Would that change the original, the 5,500, or just we would increasing 5,000 to 10,000?
5,000 to 10,000, I think would make sense, Your Honor, just because it sounds like that we may, based on what's already been done, and Mr. Lane may have some more to say about that, but based on what he's already done, I suspect he's probably used a large chunk of that 5,000 just doing this one task.
One thing I would like to add, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
In lieu of having to come back and file another motion, is if JAC would agree to travel expenses since I'm out of county. If not, I can get that in some type of form of a writing and get it to you or to the JAC if that's acceptable.
Mr. Lake?
Your Honor, we'd have no problem with the court authorizing, saying $1,000 for travel expenses as well.
All right, fine. So we'll increase it from 5,000 to 10,000 for investigative costs, and for travel-related expenses, 500 to 1,000. Mr. Lake, are you going to need an order for the court file with regard to those?
We would, Your Honor.
Okay, could you submit that?
Thanks, seriously, I
Yes,
won't.
Your Honor, we will prepare the order and submit it.
Just kidding.
All right,
I
very
will.
good. Just send it to Ms.
Thank you.
Barrio, so I believe you have her contact information.
And now I have something to look forward to
All right, very
afterwards.
good. Thank you, sir. Mr. Lane, thank you so much, sir. All right.
I'm actually just doing the
Yes, ma'am.
thumbnail for the video now, so I have it already
That's
set up.
Christian Lake. He is an attorney associated with the JAC, the Judicial
Billy's got a
Administrative
look
Commission,
going.
regarding costs for indigent defendants.
Yes,
From
Carolina.
a scheduling perspective or
You
the
are.
protocol,
I know it.
which I know I filed a notice of filing of. I'm sure you've had the opportunity to review it. Anything else we need to address from that?
We're good on scheduling, Your Honor. Thank
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, anything else we need to address regarding scheduling or the protocol other than what you've already addressed this morning?
Will my investigator be present at anything?
Yeah.
for and with me?
He's just the fucking worst, really.
I can't speak to for or anything, but based on
mean,
what we
just-
discussed today, your
it's
investigator
so-
will be there for the digital review, which will take place
Like
no later
no
than
respect
September 3rd.
for any of that. It's,
Okay, yes, I would like to have some type of witness from
He will be
his
there.
side also.
It's
He will
up
be
to
there.
me.
Mr. J is going to be recording the conversation as he identified
they would have
previously.
died in the water.
Now, ma'am, you made reference to some motions that you may have brought with you this morning. All right, if you could hand those to the deputy. Also, to the extent that the deputy
He
is not
didn't
already
solicit
done
her, though,
so,
did he, Mary?
I printed out a copy of the July 24th, 2024 protocol regarding your
Maybe he
use of
did.
the laptop at the jail. And I'm going to ask the courtroom deputy to please hand deliver a copy of that to you. It was mailed to you, it was read to you at the last hearing, but now you have a physical copy of it, ma'am, to the extent one was not already provided to you.
Oh, yes, I have not received this yet.
Okay.
How would she even know? She doesn't look at anything.
Another printout that she was going to provide me with, which I believe was a memorandum for today's dates.
I haven't, is she being who, the captain?
No, I'm not sure her name.
Oh, Madam Clerk, no, the only thing she's printed out for you right now, ma'am, is that protocol. I'm gonna be finalizing the order, and like I said, I may be able to finish it before we're done with the hearing, and I'll hand deliver it to you. If I cannot, it'll be mailed to you.
Yes, I understand. It was regards to another document proposing the dates for today's hearing. And I guess it was some type of notice. That's what I agreed that she was going to print out to give to me, so I have that.
Bloodbath is insulted that she wasn't
I did not
included.
receive that, nor did I receive this protocol list.
As to everything that was being discussed, can you print out a copy of it for Ms. Boone as well? It should be in the court file. All right, ma'am, let me take a moment to review your motions. Give me
All
a
right,
moment.
guys. As much as I don't want to, we gotta go. I'm gonna set up the other live right now for probably 9 my time, 9 Eastern Standard Time. And I think I backed it up, Joette. It's hard to say though because, you know. Yeah, so thanks for joining me as always, and I will see you in a few hours. Bye. See you soon.